Concept 3, factoring by grouping. Alright, so factoring by grouping is just taking what we've done in our last video one step backwards. Okay, so now we have our full binomial, our full polynomial, okay, and we've got to get it to the point where we can start by factoring out our common binomial. Okay. The way we're going to do that is we're going to start by splitting it into two groups. Okay, we're going to take the two highest degree terms and the two lowest degree terms, and then we are going to separate them, and then we're going to factor out the greatest common factor from each of those two binomials. Okay, so let's do that. So I've got 6x cubed and 10x squared. So my constants, right, my coefficients, my 6 and my 10, their greatest common factor is going to be 2. Okay, and then the greatest common factor between my variables is going to be x squared. Okay, and that should be down here. So 2x squared is my greatest common factor for this one. Okay, and if I factored that out, I would have left over 1x here and 3, so 3x. And then if I factored out 2x squared from 10x squared, I'd be left with 5. Alright, now same thing with this one. We're going to factor out the greatest common factor. There is not a variable on this last term, so I know I'm not going to have a variable outside my parentheses. My greatest common factor between 12 and 20. Let's see, 2 is a factor they share, 4 is a factor they share, and I think that's the greatest one. So 4 is going to be our greatest common factor. And 4 times what is 12x? Well, 4 times 3x is 12x. And 4 times 5 is 20. And you can see now we're at this point where we were for our last video, where we have our binomial that's the same, and now we can pull it out. Now we can factor out that common binomial. Okay, so if I got my 2x squared times 3x plus 5 and 4 times 3x plus 5, I can write this as the multiplication of two binomials with 2x squared plus 4 times 3x plus 5. And there I have factored out my original polynomial. Okay, basically I've gone backwards from what we've done last chapter. Okay, let's look at another one. Alright, so now we've got our polynomial. Okay, we're going to start by splitting it into two groups. Alright, so I've got this group, and I've got this group. Okay, and I've got to start by pulling out my greatest common factor. Well, for this one, I've got x to the 5th and x to the 4th. I'm going to go ahead and just pull that out right now. That's going to be x to the 4th. Right. And I've got 2 minus 7. Well, I don't have any common factors there. So x to the 4th times 2x minus 7. Okay, should be my greatest common factor. And then this other one, I've got 4x cubed minus 14x squared. Well, I've got x squared. Okay, that's going to be my greatest common factor for my variables. Alright, and now 4 and 14, if I take out 2 as my greatest common factor for the constants, it looks like that's what it is. I pull out 2x squared. I'm going to be left with 2x minus 7 again. Okay, so I've got my binomials separated, and now I can just rewrite this as x to the 4th plus 2x squared times 2x minus 7. And I'm done.